And now the floor is given to Ministry of Defense of Ukraine spokesperson on ATO-related issues, Colonel Oleksandr Motuzyanyk, with an update about ATO zone. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Now the information about the events that happened in the ATO zone yesterday. The Lugansk sector. Right after midnight, the enemy violated ceasefire twice in the region of Stanica Luganska. At that, the enemy used small arms. And later, 4 enemy shellings happened in Novo-Alexandrovka-Pasnyansky region, 1 in the morning and 3 in the evening. And at that, the occupants used the fire of mortars and APCs. At other parts of front line of Lugansk sector, there were no military actions. The Donetsk sector, along the front line, the occupants use heavy weapons, mortars, barrel artillery, Grad P system. And yesterday, the enemy launched 90 mines at our positions and about 10 artillery and rocket shells. And these were the traditional flash spots of Verkhnetoretsk, Avdiivka, and Pisky. And it was also tense in the region of Troitska, that is between Gorlovka and Yasinovata, and also it was tense in Nevelske. In the majority of cases, the enemy delivered fire during dark hours and between 7 a.m. till 6 p.m. It was calm in this area. And once again, civilian infrastructure came under enemy fire. Rocket shells damaged private houses in Avdiivka. On the whole, during the last 24 hours in the Donetsk sector, there were 17 enemy shellings, including 9 with the use of heavy weapons. The Mariupol area, between 10 and 1 p.m., the enemy delivered a number of shellings in Marienka and launched 30 mines. The militants used small arms actively, and the result, 2 private houses were damaged. In one, roof is broken, in another, the walls are ruined. And Russian occupation forces twice opened fire in the direction of Marienka checkpoint, and at the entrance to the occupied territory, 3 cars were damaged. For security of the citizens, work was temporarily suspended. Work of the checkpoint was temporarily suspended, and there was one more shelling in Marienka. It lasted 35 minutes. Russian occupation forces used mortars and barrel artillery. On the whole, in the second part of the day, most active military actions were mainly in Pavlo-Shirokina part of front line. And the occupants launched about 35 mines and shells. And the enemy used heavy weapons, and also enemy hold at the front line snipers and APCs. And the occupants violated ceasefire in Krasnogorivka, Novotroitska, and Novoselivka Druga. On the whole, during the last 24 hours in the Mariupol sector, there were 26 enemy shelling, including 12 with the use of heavy weapons. During the last 24 hours, in the result of the military actions, no Ukrainian serviceman was killed. 2 servicemen were wounded in Chermalik. This is Mariupol sector. It happened in the course of enemy shelling. SB officers, in the framework of a program They Wait for You Back Home, returned to peaceful life 1 more former militant. The resident of Lysychansk told law enforcers that he joined the militants in 2014 non-voluntarily, and he violated curfew established by the occupation administration, and he was forced to join the ranks of the militants. And in 2 weeks, he fled to Russia, where he was hiding for 2 years. Then he got information about SBU program from his relatives. He got this information from his relatives, and he turned to Ukrainian law enforcers. Now about the course of training of Ukrainian armed forces. In Chernigivshina, they completed brigade tactical training of reserves with live fire exercises.
The servicemen trained in various types of combat, engaging artillery units, aircraft units, and air forces of the armed forces of Ukraine, operative support units. Combat environment was modeled on the basis of experience gained in the East. The students of reconnaissance and special experts, faculty of the military academy conducted training parachute jumps in the Black Sea firing ground in daytime and nighttime conditions. They also trained in loading machinery and military loads to helicopters, boards, and securing of parachute packs and military hardware while landing to various sites. In the scope of charitable project, the children from frontline villages of Yasynovata district, Donetsk region, have been brought for medical treatment to Zaporizhia and Dnipro. 23 children will be provided examinations and medical treatment. During these charitable actions, medical examinations and highly qualified medical aid was provided to adults and children, 85 adults and children from frontline areas of Donetsk regions. And the final piece of news, 10 tons of medicines were brought by the Red Cross truck to civilians in Donetsk regions via Novotroitsky checkpoint. Alec Postak, Radio Freedom. Ukrainian servicemen have advanced to new positions. There is such news disseminated. According to Minsk Accords, Ukrainian armed forces comply with the terms of this accords and the peace plan of the president, but complying with the accords, we resist if we can identify some firing point of the enemy, so then we return fire. But the situation could be very dynamic at the contact line. Counter-attack is possible in some cases, in some areas can change hands, change power from time to time. Now we are talking about Svetladar salient. According to Minsk Accords, this territory should be under control of Ukrainian armed forces, as well as the Baltsevo city. Thank you very much.